Today's book is Peppa's Christmas Unicorn. It was the beginning of December, and Peppa and her family were decorating their Christmas tree. Peppa pulled the decoration from the Christmas box. "It's the prickly cactus we got when Daddy went monster truck racing in America," she cried. "And here's the flamingo from our summer holiday," said Daddy Pig. "What lovely memories," said Mummy Pig, smiling. "What a perfect tree," said Daddy Pig, hanging his last bauble. There's still one bare branch." "But there aren't any decorations left," Peppa sighed. "Never mind," said Mummy Pig. "The tree looks wonderful just as it is." "OK," said Peppa, but she couldn't help staring at the empty branch. A few weeks later it was Christmas Eve. "Come on," called Daddy Pig. "It's time to go to the Christmas fair." "Hooray!" cried Peppa and George. The Christmas fair was lots of fun. There were stalls full of yummy food, games to play, gingerbread houses to decorate, and a Christmas carousel, cried Peppa. "Who wants a ride?" asked Mummy Pig. I do, cheered Peppa and George, jumping up and down. "Daddy Pig," said Mummy Pig, "would you like to ride the carousel?" Daddy Pig looked at the Christmas carousel. "What does it do?" he asked Miss Rabbit, who was in charge of the ride. "It spins around and around up in the air," she explained. "Ah," said Daddy Pig. He was a little bit scared of heights. "Come on, it'll be so much fun," said Peppa. "OK," said Daddy Pig. "I'll give it a whirl." Peppa and George looked at all the animals they could ride on the carousel. "Dinosaur! Grrr!" shouted George, picking a special Christmas dinosaur. Mummy Pig climbed on the dinosaur with him. Peppa spotted a golden glittery Christmas unicorn, she cried. "I'm riding this one. Doesn't it look magical?" "It certainly does," agreed Daddy Pig. "Last call for the magical Christmas carousel," announced Miss Rabbit. "All aboard." "Come on, Daddy," called Peppa. "Let's hurry." Daddy Pig got into Santa's sleigh. "Ho, ho, ho," he cheered. Once everyone was settled safely on the ride, Miss Rabbit pressed a button. The carousel started to spin around and around, getting faster and faster. Peppa, George, Mummy and Daddy Pig were lifted up higher and higher into the air, until suddenly they were flying. "Whee!" cried Peppa on her magical Christmas unicorn. "Dinosaur! Grrr!" cried Peppa. George on his special Christmas dinosaur. Daddy Pig's sleigh was close behind. His eyes were shut. "Open your eyes, Daddy," said Peppa. "We're flying." Daddy Pig opened one eye and looked down. "Oh my goodness, we are flying." From up high, Peppa and George could see the houses below, decorated with Christmas lights, and the trees covered in snow. "Look, Daddy," gasped Peppa, pointing. "It's our house." Daddy Pig peered down, and his sleigh started to drop. Luckily, Peppa's unicorn helped the reindeer to pull the sleigh back up again. "Phew," said Daddy Pig. Miss Rabbit pressed a button and everyone flew back down to the ground. "Wasn't that amazing?" cried Peppa. "We were flying, weren't we, Daddy?" "It must be Christmas magic," replied Daddy Pig, a little dizzy from the ride. "Now, who wants to visit Santa?" asked Mummy Pig. I do, cheered Peppa and George, jumping up and down. Peppa told Santa all about her magical ride on the flying Christmas unicorn. "We even saw our house," she cried. "Our Christmas tree was sparkling in the window. We collect decorations." "Your tree sounds wonderful," said Santa. "I'd love to see it." "You can," said Peppa. "Tonight." "Oh yes," said Santa. "Of course." "I should probably get going," said Santa, chuckling. "I've got a rather busy night of present delivering ahead of me." "Yes," said Peppa excitedly. "Merry Christmas, Santa." "Merry Christmas, Peppa," said Santa. "It was lovely talking to you." "Time to head home," said Mummy Pig. "It's a big day tomorrow." Back at home, Peppa and George got into their cosy Christmas pyjamas, put out yummy treats for Santa and his reindeer, and hung up their stockings. "Please, can we have a magical Christmas bedtime story now?" asked Peppa. Daddy Pig told Peppa and George a magical Christmas bedtime story, and they soon fell fast asleep. On Christmas morning, Peppa and George raced downstairs to find that Santa had been. Peppa peeked into her stocking and pulled out a sparkly box. Inside was a glittery golden Christmas unicorn tree decoration. "It's just like the one I rode on the carousel," she gasped. "Another lovely memory for the tree," said Mummy Pig. "And now you have a decoration for that empty branch," said Daddy Pig. "Santa is rather clever, isn't he?" "I love you, Christmas unicorn," whispered Peppa. Suddenly the unicorn shone brightly and flew onto the tree branch. "Wow!" gasped Peppa. "Did you see that?" "What?" asked Mummy Pig. Everyone came to look, but the unicorn was as still as all the other decorations on the tree. "She was flying," said Peppa, "but now it's stopped." "Must be Christmas magic," said Daddy Pig, winking. "Thank you, Santa," Peppa said. "This is the most magical Christmas ever." Peppa loves Christmas unicorns. Everyone loves Christmas unicorns. Today's book is Room on the Broom. The witch had a cat and a very tall hat, and long ginger hair which she wore in a plait. How the cat purred and how the witch grinned as they sat on their broomstick and flew through the wind. But how the witch wailed and how the cat spat when the wind blew so wildly it blew off the hat. "Down!" cried the witch, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the hat, but no hat could be found. Then out of the bushes on thundering paws there bounded a dog with the hat in his jaws. He dropped it politely, then eagerly said, as the witch pulled the hat firmly down on her head, "I am a dog, as keen as can be. Is there room on the broom for a dog like me?" "Yes," cried the witch, and the dog clambered on. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. Over the fields and the forests they flew. The dog wagged his tail, and the stormy wind blew. The witch laughed aloud and held on to her hat, but away blew the bow from her long ginger plait. "Down!" cried the witch, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the bow, but no bow could be found. Then out from a tree with an ear-splitting shriek there flapped a green bird with the bow in her beak. She dropped it politely and bent her head low, then said, as the witch tied her plait in a bow, "I am a bird, as green as can be. Is there room on the broom for a bird like me?" "Yes," cried the witch, so the bird fluttered on. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. Over the reeds and the rivers they flew. The bird shrieked with glee, and the stormy wind blew. They shot through the sky to the back of beyond. The witch clutched her bow, but let go of her wand. "Down!" cried the witch, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the wand, but no wand could be found. Then all of a sudden, from out of a pond, leapt a dripping wet frog with a dripping wet wand. He dropped it politely, then said with a croak, as the witch dried the wand on a fold of her cloak, "I'm a frog, as clean as can be. Is there room on the broom for a frog like me?" "Yes," said the witch, so the frog bounded on. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. Over the moors and the mountains they flew. The frog jumped for joy, and the broom snapped in two. Down fell the cat and the dog and the frog. Down they went tumbling into a bog. The witch's half broomstick flew into a cloud, and the witch heard a roar that was scary and loud. "I am a dragon, as mean as can be, and I'm planning to have witch and chips for my tea." "No!" cried the witch, flying higher and higher. The dragon flew after her, breathing out fire. "Help!" cried the witch, flying down to the ground. She looked all around, but no help could be found. The dragon drew nearer, and licking his lips, said, "Maybe this once I'll have witch without chips." But just as he planned to begin on his feast, from out of a ditch rose a horrible beast. It was tall, dark and sticky, and feathered and furred. It had 4 frightful heads. It had wings like a bird. And its terrible voice, when it started to speak, was a yowl and a growl and a croak and a shriek. It dripped and it squelched as it strode from the ditch, and it said to the dragon, "Buzz off, that's my witch." The dragon drew back and he started to shake. "I'm sorry," he spluttered. "I made a mistake. It's nice to have met you, but now I must fly. and he spread out his wings and was off through the sky. Then down flew the bird, and down jumped the frog. Down climbed the cat, and phew, said the dog. And thank you, oh thank you, the grateful witch cried. Without you I'd be in that dragon's inside. Then she filled up her cauldron and said with a grin, Find something, everyone, throw something in. So the frog found a lily, the cat found a cone, the bird found a twig, and the dog found a bone. They threw them all in, and the witch stirred them well. And while she was stirring, she muttered a spell. Iggity, ziggity, zaggity, zoom. Then out rose a truly magnificent broom, with seats for the witch and the cat and the dog, a nest for the bird, and a shower for the frog. Yes, cried the witch, and they all clambered on. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. Welcome to Children's Books Read Aloud. Today's book is Lucy Ladybird. Lucy Ladybird didn't belong anywhere. You can't be one of us, cried the other ladybirds. You have no spots. Lucy flew off, feeling sad and alone. The hot summer sun glared uncomfortably down on her. Suddenly she noticed Fred Frog. Fred Frog, said Lucy, you are so beautiful with your smooth green spots. I wish I could be like you. But Lucy Ladybird, croaked Fred Frog, you are beautiful too. You float so smoothly through the air. If you really want spots, please have one of mine. I have plenty to spare. Lucy was so happy. Now she had one spot. Before long, autumn arrived and the leaves turned orange, red and yellow, then floated gently to the ground. Lucy was admiring them as Carla Caterpillar cycled by. Carla Caterpillar, cried Lucy. You are so beautiful with your shiny yellow spots. I wish I could be like you. But Lucy Ladybird, said Carla Caterpillar. You are so beautiful with your shiny red wings. You can fly so fast. I have lots and lots of spots. Please take one of mine. Lucy was so happy. Now she had 2 spots. The land grew cold with frost and icicles as winter approached. Lucy was watching the pretty snowflakes dance in the air, turning everything white, when Felicity Fish jumped up from the pond. Felicity Fish, called Lucy. You are so beautiful with your sparkling blue spots. I wish I could be like you. But Lucy Ladybird, said Felicity Fish, you are beautiful too. You have such lovely sparkling eyes. If spots are what you want, please have one of mine. Lucy was so happy. Now she had 3 spots. It wasn't long before spring arrived and the flowers awoke from their long slumber. Lucy was enjoying their sweet scent when she saw Bella Bird. Bella Bird, called Lucy. You are so beautiful with your dazzling white spots. I wish I could be like you. But Lucy Ladybird, cried Bella. You are beautiful too. You make everyone so happy with your dazzling smile. If you'd like an extra spot, please take one of mine. Lucy was so happy. Now she had 4 spots. For the very first time, Lucy felt like a real ladybird. She smiled at the thought of her 4 spots as she made her way back home. Past dazzling Bella Bird, past sparkling Felicity Fish, past Carla Caterpillar, now transformed into a beautiful shiny butterfly, and over smooth-spotted Fred Frog, jumping cheerfully through the air. Lucy returned from her journey with her 4 beautiful spots, 1 smooth green spot, 1 shiny yellow spot, 1 sparkling blue spot, and 1 dazzling white spot. She suddenly realised that she still didn't fit in with the other ladybirds. All their spots were black. But when the others saw Lucy, they all wanted to be just like her. Today's book is Harry MaClary's Runpus at the Vet. Down at the vet, there were all kinds of pets, with troubles and woes from their ears to their toes. Sniffles and snuffles and doses of flu, itches and stitches and tummy ache too. So many animals, watchful and wary, and Harry MaClary from Donaldson's Dairy. There were miserable dogs, cantankerous cats, a rabbit with pimples, and rickety rats. Mice with the sneezes, a goat in a rage, and Cassie the cockatoo locked in her cage. Cassie had claws and a troublesome beak. She saw something twitch, so she gave it a tweak. She pulled it so hard that she plucked out a hair, and Hairy MaClary jumped high in the air. A bowl full of mice was bundled about. Over it went, and the mice tumbled out. 4 fussy budgies with Grandmother Goff flew out of their cage when the bottom dropped off. Grizzly Macduff, with a bottle-brushed tail, leaped out of his basket and over the rail. The Poppadom kittens from Parkinson Place squeezed through an opening and joined in the chase. Barnacle Beasley forgot he was sore. He bumbled and clattered all over the floor. Then Custard the Labrador, Muffin McClay, and Noodle the Poodle decided to play. They skidded and scampered, they slid all around, and bottles and boxes came tumbling down. What a kerfuffle, a scramble of paws, a tangle of bodies, a jumble of jaws. With squawking and yowling and mournful meow, they really were making a terrible row. Out came the vet. "I'll fix them," she said, but she tripped on a lead and fell over instead. Geezer the goat crashed into a cage. He butted the bars in a thundering rage. Cassie got mad. She rattled her beak. She saw something twitch, so she gave it a tweak. Today's book is Hairy MaClary's Bone by Linley Dodd. Down in the town, by the butcher's shop door, sat Hairy MaClary from Donaldson's Dairy. Out of the door came Samuel Stone. He gave Hairy MaClary his tastiest bone. Then off up the street on scurrying feet, on his way to the dairy, went Hairy MaClary. And chasing him home, with their eyes on the bone, went Hercules Morse, Bottomley Potts, Muffin McClay, Bitzer Maloney, and Schnitzel von Crumb, with the very low tum. Hungrily sniffing and licking their chops, they followed him up past the school and the shops. They came to the sign selling Sutherland's sauce. Through they all went, except Hercules Morse. They came to a hedge along Waterloo Way. Under they went, except Muffin McClay. They came to a yard full of dinghies and yachts. Round they all went, except Bottomley Potts. They came to a building site, cluttered and stony. Over they went, except Bitzer Maloney. They came to a wall by the house of Miss Plum. One of them jumped, but not Schnitzel von Crumb. So at last he was free to go home on his own, Hairy MaClary with all of his bone. Welcome to Children's Books Read Aloud. Today's book is Little Rabbit Foo Foo. Little Rabbit Foo Foo riding through the forest, scooping up the field mice and bopping them on the head. Down came the good fairy and said, "Little Rabbit Foo Foo, I don't like your attitude," scooping up the field mice and bopping them on the head. "I'm going to give you 3 chances to change, and if you don't, I'm going to turn you into a goonie." Little Rabbit Foo Foo riding through the forest, scooping up the wriggly worms and bopping on them on the head. Down came the good fairy and said, "Little Rabbit Foo Foo, I don't like your attitude," scooping up the wriggly worms and bopping them on the head. "You've got 2 chances to change, and if you don't, I'm going to turn you into a goonie." Little Rabbit Foo Foo riding through the forest, scooping up the tigers and bopping them on the head. Down came the good fairy and said, "Little Rabbit Foo Foo, I don't like your attitude," scooping up the tigers and bopping them on the head. "You've got 1 chance left to change, and if you don't, I'm going to turn you into a goonie." Little Rabbit Foo Foo riding through the forest, scooping up the goblins and bopping them on the head. Down came the good fairy and said, "Little Rabbit Foo Foo, I don't like your attitude," scooping up the goblins and bopping them on the head. "You've got no chances left, so I'm going to turn you into a goonie." Pow! Oh dear.